Hello, everybody. Welcome to I don't know how to make videos again. Um, I wanted to experiment a bit with making longer form content because TikToks are very easy to make very short or very long, and I tend to ramble a bit. So I thought we would experiment with some longer form content, and I thought a good place to start with that would be going over my 2023 reading stats because I never really did that. And also, I never really, looked at them seriously myself. So I thought we could do that together. So I have my story graph pulled up. I know I have a bunch of tabs open. I made a separate window for this video, so there's only 5 tabs here, because I've got about 30 tabs on my other windows, so this is the low number. But, yeah, let's get into it, because I don't know where I'm going with this. 2023 was the first year in probably 5 or 6 that I got back into reading. Before that, I was lucky if I read maybe 2 books a year. Basically, since I graduated high school. I graduated high school and stopped reading because I got out of the house and I didn't need to read to escape anymore, so I just didn't read. So I had a really small goal, for me, which was 25 books, and I didn't meet it. I got to 24 books, but I did meet my pages goal, because I never know how to set up the pages goal. I gotta talk to some of my friends and see, how do you do the math for your pages goal? Because this year, I was I'll do, 200 pages a book, and I blew it out the water, months ago, so. But we are at 24 books for 7,348 pages. Took me about 7 days. That's interesting for the average time to finish. Yeah, most of my books, most of them were over 300 pages, which is interesting. Mostly fiction, 64% to 36%, and mostly young adult, but that is all in one series. So, well, not all of it, but that is mostly one series. Young adult, fantasy, mystery, romance, and memoir are going to be the big ones. I read my first arc. I read 1 review copy that year. One of my books was digital. I wonder what book it was. And the most read authors, Jonathan Stroud. This is that series I was talking about. I'll get more into it later, but this, got me back into reading. And you can see the slumps happen. January, I started with, 1 book. February was 1 book. March, what book was this? Can I see? I can't see it. But between March, April, and May is where I was reading that series, and I was just devouring the books. And then summer happened, and my reading just died. Completely. And then it picked back up. October is when I discovered BookTok and started watching content, which made me want to start reading. So that picked up. That's when I made my BookTok channel. November and December were good months. I've reviewed 20 of my books for an average rating of 4.15 stars. Where is the other thing I wanted to see? This one. The reading wrap-up. There's the graph. This is what I want to see. I like the graph. I just like that it moves. First book of the year was Baby-Led Weaning. My niece at the time was 2023. She wasn't 1 yet. So she was still learning, exploring with food and stuff, and her mom wanted to do Baby-Led Weaning. So she asked me to read and tell her, the highlights. So that was the first stop of that. And then Next Stop Murder doesn't have a cover on it because that was an arc. And it hadn't been uploaded to the system yet. There's the books and pages. Okay. So the longest book I read was The Creeping Shadow, which is part of the, I think it's Lockwood & Co. is the name of the series. Shortest book was Rivka, which is probably my top book of the year. We'll get into that more when we get into these other tabs. Average length of the books was 306 pages and it took about 7 days. I want to know how that's going to compare. I read The Creeping Shadow. I devoured that one day. 26 Days for the Amish Quilting Bee. That's because I wasn't reading. I just wasn't reading. I read 2 books by Hadley and 2 books by Shelley. I'm not sure. I don't remember either of those authors, therefore I don't think the books were that memorable. So I've got the 4 5-star reads up here, and I'll talk about them a little bit more. April was my highest rating because that's when I was reading this series that I really liked. In December, I reread almost 2,000 pages, which was really good. The most shelved book I read in 2023 was Kitchen Confidential. I really like Anthony Bourdain. He's my favorite, like, celebrity chef, so I'm trying to read all of his books, and I loved Kitchen Confidential. The least shelved was The Mysterious Amish Nanny. Amish books are, like, a guilty pleasure of mine. I haven't read any this year, but I have some, like, Harlequin romances, and just... they're mostly Harlequins. I think it's, like, 95% Harlequins, but Amish stories. They're just... I don't know. I used to read them when I was a kid. So it's, like, they're always, like, really wholesome romances and stuff. So they're good for, like, I am very sad and don't know what to do. But that makes them not very popular. They're not very popular, so least shelved. My highest rated, or the highest rated one, was They Called Me a Lioness, which I really liked. It's Ahed Tamimi's memoir, and I loved it. I don't know why I only rated it 4 stars. If I did it today, I'd probably rate it 4.5. I wasn't using half ratings, I don't think, in 2023. I read 27 new authors. 7 of the books were part of a series. 7? No, I didn't reread this. I tried to fix this. I don't know why I had it in there twice. Let me look at this. Oh, because that's part of a series. And that's part of a series. Okay, so it is the 5 series. This is not a reread. Edit read history. Yeah, you read it once in 2023. I don't think this updated. I DNF'd Dead Until Dark. I despised the writing of it. It was very dated. And I'm not sure what the other DNF was. I think more of the books than 10 I owned. I just don't mark them in Spotify very well. But these are all of the covers. I really like this one, Love in Winter Wonderland. I do recommend that book. Lessons in Fusion was good. And Night of the Living Queers I really liked. I think those are the ones I liked that we're not going to go into deeply. In This Place Together was good too. It was a bit... Oh, I think I rated that one a bit lower. 4.5, maybe not. Huh. I remember liking that one less than I like They Called Me a Lioness, so I don't know why it's rated that way. Don't ask me to explain my rating system. So, like I said, I had 4 5-star reads. And I have them in order up here of when I finished them. The first one was The Screaming Staircase, which is the first book in Lockwood & Co. series. I rated all of these very high. And honestly, if I went back and read them today, I don't know if I would rate them that high. But they got me out of the, like, year-long slump. Or years-plus long slump. They were really good. They're... Between young adult and middle grade, they made a Netflix show. That's how I found out about the books, as we watched the Netflix show. And then I was like, I need more of this. I'm obsessed. So I got the books. But they have since canceled the Netflix show, and I'm still mad about it. Because the show covered the first, I believe, 2 books. So they could have gotten another season or 2 out of it. But I read all of them. This was included in one of my books, The Dagger on the Desk, but it's not a book, so I don't have it marked. But I just rated the first one 5 stars because I loved it, and then I was like, I can't rate this entire series 5 stars, so I think the rest of them are 4.5 stars. But I really liked it. I want to read more of Jonathan Stroud's work. I haven't looked into it, but I do recommend this series. The next 5-star was Rifka by Muhammad Al-Kurd. It is a book of poetry. And it's by a Palestinian author, and I believe that's why I picked this up. I don't know if I ordered it or if it was included in it. I think I know how I got it, actually. I ordered on Etsy. I saw on Book Talk someone had an Etsy store, a Bookish Etsy store, and if you ordered from that Etsy store, she would include a Palestinian book. So that is how I got Rifka. And I really liked it. It made me cry. I'm not much of a poetry person in general, but I really liked it. I don't usually do quotes, but this one. Was it because there were no more graves in Gaza that you brought us to the beach to die? Oof! So, I think this was my favorite book of the year. I don't know why I said I think. This is my favorite book of the year. I'm working on a project where I'm going to get magnets. I found an Etsy shop that does book cover magnets, and I'm going to get one for my top book of every year, which is how I got this whole idea for the YouTube channel. I was like, I need to figure out my 2024 best book. I can make a video out of that. I should have done that for 2023. Let's do that for 2023 first. The next one was The Beauty of Your Face by Sahar Mustafa. I really like this one. It's fiction, and it was slow-paced, but it's very emotional. The synopsis this is a very basic synopsis of it. A Palestinian-American woman wrestles with faith, loss, and identity before coming face-to-face with a school shooter in the searing debut. It had me in a chokehold. A chokehold. I devoured it. I loved it. I think this one also made me cry. I don't remember too much of it at this point. My memory's not the best, so going back this far is not... I can't really tell you much about a lot of these books. I know I really liked this one, and I really liked the main character's dad, too, because he just gave me the vibe of he's trying his best. Whiskey. Would you like to say hello, since you're making sound effects? Uppy? Uppy? I'm not moving the camera. You gotta get up here if you want to get up here. Uppies. My treat. Yeah, treats. Usually she'll just hop in my lap, because when I'm streaming and stuff, she'll just shove her way into my lap and be like, hey, I'm here now. So I don't know why she's being shy for the Book Talk account. You get one, because I can't get any more out. Come on, up. Up. Say hi. I'm Whiskey. She shoves her face into my Book Talks sometimes, too, so you've probably seen her, or at least, like, the inside of her ears. But this is Whiskey. We've had her for 5 years now? She's 6, I think? She's almost 7. Yeah, because we've had her for almost 6 years. Here you go. We got her right after we got married. We moved to Hawaii, and literally before we got a house, like the day after we landed on the island, I was like, you said I could get a dog when we moved. We moved. Can we go get a dog? So we went to the shelter, and we found this homeless-looking mutt. But she's doofy, and she's ours. She's very cuddly. Alright, back to books. You gonna stay here? Okay. The last 5-star book I had in 2023 was Lessons in Fusion by Primrose Matayag Nazan. This was a YA. I don't know why it's not tagged YA. Book about a girl in a cooking competition. She is Jewish and Filipino. And the runners of the competition really wanted her to present Filipino foods. She was raised most, like, almost completely Jewish, so she doesn't really have that, and it was about her struggle and her learning to deal with that and everything. So it was really good. I don't know. It's another one where I'm like, I'm not sure if I would actually rate this 5 stars now again. Um, I don't remember too much about it now. I also was not writing the best reviews back in 2023. I'm still not very good at it, but I liked it. But it wasn't very memorable. One of these days, I want to do a video where I like tier rank all my 5-star reads, and this is gonna be one of those where I'm like, eh. But yes, I think that's the end. So this has been my 2023 books. I don't really know what I'm doing with this. This is just kind of me hanging out. I think my playlist ended also. It did. Oops, I'll have to make a longer one next time. But an experiment with YouTube. I have another YouTube channel. So like I know how YouTube works. I'm just not good at it, and this is a whole new area of content for me. So we'll see how it goes, and I will probably see y'all over on Book Talk before I see you here again. Bye.